If you're over 65, I really need you to hear this. Honestly, it might be one of the most important messages you'll get about your mobility, your independence, and really, your future safety. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by busting a really common myth about walking. Then we'll get into the huge difference between strength and endurance. After that, I'll show you 3 simple surgeon-approved moves to build that strength back up. We'll look at how quickly you can expect to see results, and finally, we'll talk about what strength really means for your independence.
All right, first up, let's tackle a belief that many of us have, well, held for a very, very long time.
Now, that's a pretty powerful statement, right? The key word here is incomplete. It's not that the advice was wrong, not at all. It's just that it was missing a critical piece of the puzzle. And unfortunately, a lot of older adults only figure this out way too late. Maybe after a fall or when they just realize they can't do the simple things that used to be second nature. And let's be absolutely clear. Walking is fantastic. It's so good for your heart, for your lungs, for your circulation. The benefits are definitely real. But, and this is the big but, it's just not enough to protect your legs from that weakness that can creep in with age. And it's not enough to keep your balance sharp. So, just take a second and think about your own life. Even if you're a dedicated daily walker, do any of these next situations ring a bell? Orthopedic surgeons and physical therapists, they see this every single week. People who are so faithful about their daily walk, but they're still dealing with these exact problems. Their legs just don't have that same power. And that's a huge sign that something crucial is missing from their routine.
And I really want to drive this point home. This is not about you not trying hard enough. It's not a failure of effort. It's simply a misunderstanding of how our bodies work as we get older. See, walking uses a very specific, very limited range of motion. It doesn't ask for enough oomph from the key muscles that actually protect our joints and, catch us when we stumble. And that brings us right to the core of this whole thing. The critical and often misunderstood difference between strength and endurance.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. Think of it like this. Your endurance, which you get from walking, is what keeps your body's engine running smoothly. But strength reinforces the entire car frame. It's what lets you stand up with ease, climb stairs with confidence, and, most importantly, recover from a sudden trip or a misstep.
That quote just crystallizes the whole idea, doesn't it? Endurance gets you from your house to the store. Strength is what keeps you from falling when you hit an unexpected crack in the sidewalk along the way.
Okay, so if walking isn't the whole answer, what is? Well, the good news is the solution is incredibly simple. You don't need a gym, you don't need any fancy equipment. So let's look at 3 surgeon-approved, totally joint-safe movements.
First up, the sit to stand. Surgeons actually use this simple test to see how strong a patient really is, because it perfectly mimics real life. Every single time you get out of a chair, off the toilet, or out of your car, you're using these exact muscles, your thighs, your hips, and your glutes. And walking just doesn't build the power you need for that. Next, we have the often overlooked calf raise. Your calves are so important for balance. Think of them as your body's accelerators and brakes. They control your forward motion and help you catch yourself when you stumble. When your calves get weak, your steps get shorter and your fall risk goes way up. This simple move helps reverse that.
And finally, number 3, the knee lift. That shuffling walk you sometimes see, where the toes don't quite clear the ground? That's often caused by weak hip flexors. This movement hits those muscles directly. It trains your brain and your body to lift your feet higher, helping you move with more purpose and dramatically cutting your risk of tripping over a rug or a crack in the pavement.
So, what can you actually expect if you start doing these? You might be surprised. The results can show up pretty fast. Let's take a look at a realistic timeline.
Within just 2 weeks, you'll likely feel a bit more control in your movements, maybe some subtle little shifts in your balance. By the 2-month mark, everyday things, like going up a flight of stairs, will feel noticeably easier. And here's the really profound part. By 3 months, many people report a huge drop in their fear of falling. And that emotional change, well, that's just as important as the physical one. And for anyone out there thinking, oh, it's too late for me, let me be as clear as I can be. It is not. That's not just a nice thought. That's science. Study after study shows that our muscles can get stronger well into our 70s, 80s, and even 90s. The body is an amazing thing. It's always ready to respond to the right signals.
Which brings us to the real goal here. This isn't just about being fit for the sake of it. It's about what that fitness gives you in your real life.
So we need to redefine what strength means. It's not about lifting massive weights in a gym. True strength for this conversation is your ability to get up from a chair by yourself. It's the freedom to move through your home without being afraid. You know, in a very real way, your leg strength is the foundation of your dignity as you get older.
So, what's the bottom line? What should you take away from all this? First, walking is great for your health, but it's strength that protects your freedom. Second, combine your walk with these simple targeted exercises. Third, remember that consistency is so much more important than intensity. And finally, know that your body is ready and waiting to get stronger no matter what your age is.
So this leaves us with one final, really important question. This isn't about becoming some kind of athlete. It's about taking action. Making a small investment in your leg strength today is a direct investment in your quality of life tomorrow. So, what's your first step going to be?